You probably think that sales is what the dictionary says that it is, providing a good or service in exchange for money. But you'd be wrong. Sales is actually a transfer of confidence from one person to the other. Let me explain. Forget about sales for a minute. Have you ever noticed that when you're flirting with somebody that's really attractive, the more interest that you show in them, the less interested they actually become in you? But the less interest that you show in somebody who you are not attracted to, the more that they tend to want you. Now, what I just explained is the essence of successful sales and marketing. Now, most sellers think that sales is about being paid by a customer to provide value to them. And that is why most of us suck at sales. We struggle with what to say, when to say it, and how to say it. Bottom line, if you don't know how to attract the other person and get them confident, you aren't selling. You're just talking about your thing. Now, you might say, oh no, Jeff, I know that I can't just sell my thing. I need to first earn their trust and develop rapport. And that is why first, Jeff, I give value and I educate the potential customer. And they see right through you. And I'm going to tell you why. Because you're offering to help them. This belief that you have to help customers and show value before they're going to buy is also why a majority of marketing people are failing. Customers are damn smart. They sense any offer of help that comes from a marketer. These offers are false. They know that you have an ulterior motive. A psychologist named Eric Berne discovered this, and David Sandler even baked it right into his sales training. This theory is called transactional analysis. And of course, if you'd like to study this in more detail, do leave a comment down below. But for now, just know this. Any offer to help prospects tends to push them away. Now, I'm not asking you to believe me. Just look to your own experience as proof. The more that you offer to help people solve problems or achieve a goal, and the more that you make yourself available to them for a meeting to help, the less they tend to want it. The more free advice, the more education, the more they know that you are 100% full of shit. Now, maybe I'm wrong, and maybe all that educating and sharing value is provoking decision makers to request meetings with you. Now, if that's true, then you can just shut this video off and go pour yourself a cold one. However, if you relate to what I'm saying, if you're a little bit curious, I want you to come with me to a different world, a world where not offering to help people solve a problem earns a hell of a lot more conversations. Hi, I'm Jeff Molander, and I study how the world's best communicators break through the noise to have meaningful conversations. And honestly, I am the world's biggest skeptic. So I don't blame you for thinking that I'm wrong or I'm crazy or both when I say to avoid telling customers, hey, I can help alleviate your pain. Now, at first, it didn't make any sense to me either, but it's true. Your sales outreach messages do not need to offer value or position you as credible. And here is why. Sales is courtship. New business outreach is precisely the same as the dating scene. The goal of outreach is the same as seeking your life partner. This is to find emotion, to find someone so emotionally involved in a problem or a goal that they want to actually take the next step with you. The purpose of sales outreach is not to earn a meeting. It is also not to create rapport. These are outcomes of your goal. The goal of a cold email or cold call or LinkedIn reach out is also not to find people with pain. The purpose of sales outreach is to find people with enough emotion that they are ready to act on it. Let's forget about business for a moment. Think about a time where you are on a first date. Picture yourself sitting across from somebody and suddenly they did this. They flashed their colors. They tried to impress you. They met you and they were like, oh yeah, I want some more of this. I want another date. Now, whatever you said to create that reaction, it tapped into their emotions. That's what caused them to start marketing themselves to you really hard, maybe too hard. They tried to persuade you without looking persuasive. And this to you showed a lack of confidence in themselves. Guys, maybe you talk too much about your car or your fast-paced lifestyle. I was once on a second date with a woman who said, hey, you know, I'm 34 and time's running out with me, to have a family. Whoa, Well, it's the same with customers. Our first instinct is to persuade the other person in ways that pretend we're not persuading. But you don't fall for that crap. None of us do. And neither do potential customers. That looks desperate. So think of it this way. When they meet you for the first time, customers have no experience to base their decisions on with you, to engage with you. So for example, when I first met my wife, she had no experience that proved to her, yes, here's a guy that is worth my time. I should talk to this guy. So I did my very best to attract her just to the idea of talking to me being a good idea. But I tended to kind of soft pedal. I was careful to not talk about myself very much and instead focused more on her. And I did this by giving her enough space to kind of convince herself. I wanted her to ask me rather than my having to ask her. And honestly, I got married in my mid-30s, so it took me a while to figure out to shut up about myself. Anyway, here's why this is important to you. Less is more. The less we talk, the better. Now, you may roll your eyes and think, duh, obviously Molander, but hear me out, because what we know that we should do and what we actually do in life are usually two totally different things. Less is more. The less we talk about ourselves and try to persuade, the better. The more confident that we tend to look. Instead, I want you to do this. Get the other side talking about themselves and their situation, because when we do this, it proves that we have genuine interest in the other person. We transfer our confidence in ourselves to the other person. And confidence is a super attractive quality. It is also a very unusual quality. So this helps us stand out from all the noise of all the persuaders out there. Most people are just like most marketers. They love to talk about themselves. We see this in sales outreach, in emails, cold calls. What we tend to do is we sell our strong points. We start talking about our client list. We start trying to establish credibility. And these are what marketing messages tend to sound like. Now, your marketing messages might be really good, but an early stage customer, they're not interested in hearing these kinds of messages, not yet. So when courting customers, we need to talk exclusively about the prospect. We need to avoid saying too much, too fast about ourselves. However, we must also be provocative at the same time. So it's a balance. We need to say just enough to, 1, grab their attention, 2, prove that we aren't just repeating a script or cutting and pasting an email and hitting send, and 3, hinting at the fact that we might actually be worth talking to a little bit more. Think of it this way. Just give them some space, enough space to develop curiosity about you, to provoke them into asking you for the meeting without any cheap, sleazy call to action from you. Now you might be thinking, Molander, what, no call to action? That's right. If you're curious as to why I say no call to action, leave a comment below and I'll explain. Instead of a call to action, allow the prospect the space needed to become a little bit curious enough to ask that next logical question to you. Not a question about your product, not a question about your service, a question about the subject which aroused them to begin with. Bottom line, sales is courtship. New business outreach is precisely the same as attracting a life partner. The goal of outreach is to find emotion, to find someone so emotionally involved in a problem or a goal that they want to take the next step. Not only do they want to take the step, but they've actually convinced themselves to take that step for their own personal reason. So remember, making yourself available to somebody who doesn't realize they even have a problem yet isn't going to start enough conversations for you. And this is why conventional sales thinking and persuasion tactics do tend to fail. They focus on persuading rather than attracting. Now, if you're a B2B enterprise seller and you sell expensive, complex solutions and you need to get in the door early to start influencing the client, I want you to watch the next video. Otherwise, here's a question for you to think about. How would you describe the difference between trying to persuade somebody and helping them to persuade themselves? I want you to leave a comment below, share your story with me, or just tell me I'm flat out wrong about what I'm sharing with you today. I'm super open to your pushback. All right, my name is Jeff Molander, and when you're ready to take the next step, I am here for you. What qualifies me to guide you? Well, I study how the most successful sales and marketing professionals tend to not persuade. They instead provoke conversations and then slowly attract customers to go deeper to get to know them more. So, if you're curious about attracting customer conversations and using curiosity to engage, take the first step. Get started changing your outreach strategy in my Curiosity Crash Course. Hit curiositycrashcourse.com or see the link in the video description down below. All the best and see you in the next video.